So today I thought it would be helpful to revisit something that might seem very basic in meditation, but actually I've rediscovered it and it's made a huge, really discernible difference in my ability to concentrate, both in formal meditation practice and in the rest of my life. We're in a period right now where we're spending a lot of time doing this, working with the machine, live video, or spending time on Zoom in meetings, or in front of our computer at home, or going out and doing difficult work while everybody else complains about being stuck at home. There's a lot of sort of extra attention-getting kinds of things going on. And a lot of people, including myself, have noticed that it's affecting our ability to concentrate. One of my colleagues has left Facebook, at least for the foreseeable future, because she's cutting back on all of her social media because she says she can't even read a whole magazine article without getting distracted. And she feels like all her time online is affecting that. So if you kind of feel that way too, if you've noticed a sense of being scattered, if your attention is diffuse, if you sit to practice and start out strong and then find yourself drifting, or if you are just interested in really working with the breath in meditation, this little method, which may be familiar to you, has really been a game changer for me. So I thought we would practice in this way today for a few minutes, and then you can try it out on your own time and see what difference it makes. Notice what happens when you practice in this way. It seems very mechanical and artificial at first, but it is an amazing, I don't know, I guess if you practice scales as a musician, you get pretty good at understanding the instrument. And that's kind of an analogy to the way we're going to be working with the breath. So settle in, as we always do. Make yourself more comfortable. Have that last sip of water or coffee, that last bite of lunch if you're doing this on your lunch break. And as you sit, allowing the attention to turn toward this posture of upright yet relaxed, this relaxed and alert posture that we want to cultivate both with the body and with the mind. So finding that support. Let your eyes close if that's helpful for you, or just have a soft downward gaze so you can just look down if you want to keep your eyes open. Receiving the sound of the bell, aware of its beginning, its middle, and its end. That's what we'll be watching with the breath. So settling in, perhaps beginning with a fairly quick body scan. And just for full disclosure, you may hear my cat in the background. Lately, Tiger has wanted to come and sit with me when I sit meditation. So she's my Dharma buddy today. You may hear her crying, meowing, sneezing, making sounds in the background. And just let that be part of the environment of practice today. So scanning through the body can begin at the top of the head. Move the attention down through the face, the sides of the head, top and the back of the scalp, and just feeling whatever sensations are here and appearing. As you move your attention through different body parts, you might encourage some softening or relaxation. But as we're scanning, the intention is really just to meet sensations in these areas of the body as we move the attention through. And so moving attention into the neck and throat area. Feeling if there's ease or constriction. Perhaps aware of sensations of swallowing. And bringing attention into the shoulders and upper back and chest now, maybe the top third or so of the torso. Turning the attention here, feeling how it is in the shoulders. And this area, of course, as you know, is a very common holding place for tension. So you may encounter some tension here. Can you soften your relationship to the tension? Not demanding or insisting or even wanting it to change, but simply seeing if you can make space for the tension in awareness and invite some release in the body. See how the body responds. Inviting release now into the arms and hands. Feeling the sensations here. Letting go of any obvious gripping. And then moving the attention through into the rest of the torso, the middle, feeling the ribs moving, the diaphragm moving perhaps with every breath. Feeling what's here to be felt in the lower back, in the belly. There might be some very prominent sensations in the belly if you've just eaten or if you haven't eaten. So feelings of fullness or emptiness. And moving down into the pelvis now, the base of the spine, the root of the basic chakra energy system that runs through the center of the body. Feeling the pelvic floor, feeling how your buttocks are making contact with the seat. And then knowing how it is in the legs and the feet. Moving the attention down from the hips through the thighs, into the knees, aware of calves and shins, knowing sensations in the ankles and feet and seeing how the feet are at rest on the floor or tucked underneath you. Nothing special to do. There's nothing to fix. As I said, if you're encountering a lot of tension, just relaxing the desire for things to be different than they are. Seeing if you can accept whatever level of tension is present. Invite it to soften and accept. This is how it is now, in a friendly, non-demanding way. And so just generally knowing this body sitting. Sitting and knowing you're sitting. recognizing the ability to feel the posture that the body has taken without needing to look, feeling it from the inside, knowing you're sitting rather than standing, for example. You know by your felt sense of the body right now that you're sitting. Just appreciating that this felt sense of the body, no matter what we're doing, is always available. And now, within this felt sense of the body sitting, beginning to tune in to the feelings, the sensations of the body breathing. So we'll just start by resting the attention on the waves of breath as they rise and fall, as the breath comes and goes. Wherever you can feel it most easily, most vividly, where these sensations are most prominent in the body. It could just be through the whole body that you're feeling breath come and go. But it's more likely that you can feel it with ease in the belly, the abdomen expanding on the in-breath and then releasing on the out-breath. Or you can feel it in the chest and shoulders, that little lift on the in-breath and dropping back down on the out-breath. Or it might be really obvious right at the tip of the nose. So that as you breathe in, you're feeling the airflow through the nostrils. Cooler on the in-breath and then somewhat warmer on the out-breath. Just know the breath, the feeling of breath rising and falling wherever you can right now in the body. And where is the attention right now? Did it wander off the breath? Were you right there present with one in-breath or maybe even an in-breath and an out-breath? That's awesome. But for most of us, we find that after a breath or two or even a half a breath, the mind gets attracted by something else and the attention wanders. As you probably know, that's not a problem. The moment you notice that you're lost in thought, the minute you recognize your attention is off the breath, simple. Oh, I woke up. All right, let's return. And very kindly and gently and simply just return to feeling the breath. Now you may find that that instruction, while wise and true, is sometimes just not enough. That with the best of intentions and with kindness and acceptance, we begin again. And sure enough, a breath or two later, we're off to the races. We've lost the thread again. And it's perfectly legitimate and fine and perhaps useful to begin and again multiple times during a sit. If you need to start over after just 2 breaths for the whole sit, well, sometimes that's how it goes. But the mind likes something to do. So we're going to give it something to do. And I know a lot of you are already doing this. Maybe not quite in this fashion. but a number of people find it helpful to count as they're staying present to the breath. And I used to find this really annoying and unhelpful until I learned a different way to do it from Guy Armstrong. Just give credit where credit is due. The mindfulness teacher, Guy Armstrong, practiced this way for many, many months when he was in Myanmar, or yeah, I guess it was Burma. And Guy taught it to me. And so it is simply that for every breath, you're going to count backwards from 10. And so on the in-breath, simply lightly noting in. And on the out-breath, 10. Next in-breath, noting in. On the out-breath, 9. In, 8. And so on until you get to 1, and then you start over at 10. Now, if you lose the thread while you're doing this, then you start over again at 10. And I can tell you that there have been times lately that I've made it to 9 and had to start over, or lose it somewhere around 5 or 6 and the mind wanders and I can't quite remember what number I'm supposed to be on. So then we start over, we begin again. So feeling the in-breath and lightly noting in, and then on the out-breath, lightly noting 10, 9, 8, 7, etc. So we'll try that for the next few minutes and just see how this might work for you to simply count backwards from 10 for every breath you're aware of. And you might notice the mind's response, especially if you need to begin again multiple times. Begin to notice how it feels, what thoughts you're telling yourself. See what happens when you simply rest the attention on the breath and count backwards. Willing to begin again as often as you need. Let the mental noting of in and the numbers maybe be about 3% of your energy and 97% on feeling the breath. This is meant to bring us closer, more intimately to our present moment experience. So don't let it become about the counting. Let the counting serve your deep opening and inquiry to the way it is as you breathe in and out. Thank you for your practice today. I just want to add that it took me a few attempts with this counting backwards, numbering the breaths technique, I guess, tactic, to really begin to see the benefits. So if it seemed rather stilted or artificial for you today, try it a couple more times when you practice. And you may begin to see, I actually just have found it to be a real help in steadying the attention. And then once it feels steady and there's flow and there's a little samadhi happening, you can expand out, you can drop the noting. That's true for all the noting techniques, really. They're meant to help steady the attention. But you also can just stay with it because it can feel good to have that steady, concentrated staying with the breath or with anything. So just see what happens. Your conditioned responses and way that you relate to your experience of living will make an appearance in this. It's not really shutting anything out. My tendency to lean forward into the future is just as prevalent in using this counting method as any other method of meditation. I can see clearly my habitual way of pushing and trying to get ahead, even to the point where sometimes I'm like, okay, 3, now the next one's going to be 2. You know, like my mind is just always, almost always in that mode. And it can be seen very clearly. And it's kind of funny when it's something as silly as, leaning forward into the next breath so that I can count the next number. That's pretty funny. So see what you can find out by applying this particular way of working. And I wish you a great day.